Hey, what's up guys? It's Bobby, IFBB Pro. Today I'm gonna take you guys through my gym, the Lab Gym in San Ramon, and we're gonna go over some workout tips for you guys. The first person we're gonna talk to is Craig. He's actually one of my trainers. So let's go talk to him right now and get some tips for you guys. All right, so Craig is one of my trainers, actually one of my best trainers. I recruited him from another gym. So he's gonna give us a little bit of tips. You're doing chest today?
Chest, yep.
So we're gonna give you guys, he just actually got finished doing a show. You compete in classic physique, right?
Classic, yeah.
The classic. So he's gonna give us a few tips on one of his favorite workouts and basically, yeah, just go ahead and give him some tips, what you think, some cues. Basically take me through it as if I was a trainer, right?
Right.
And what you would tell them and yeah, go for it.
So right now we're doing some flies, right? We're working on the negative, okay? So reason why I'm doing the negative is you get a lot more muscle recruitment out of it, right? About 60% of that movement is that negative movement. So when we set up, we were walking out, making sure that our chest kind of stays above the hands a little bit, hands a little outside of the shoulder width. And when we push, instead of just coming through here, we see a lot of people coming through here, we get a lot of shoulder activation. What we're actually trying to do is actually press out, press that chest up nice and high and extend out like we're trying to almost bring not our hands together, but we're trying to squeeze those elbows together, right? So as I come back, I'm nice and slow. I want to get into that stretch. My body's going to slightly move forward as my hands go back. And when I press through, head, chest go back, my hands press through, okay? So we're slow, slow, slow. We're controlling that. Core is tight, big stretch. And then we're exploding through that concentric movement. We're going to get a lot more pretty much muscle fiber tears out of that. About 40% of that movement is here, but we're getting a lot more muscle recruitment on the way back.
So let me ask you a question. When you set yourself up, is it okay to have both feet in front? Do you like putting one foot in front of the other?
It's really just how comfortable you could be. If you can control this is harder. It takes a little more core just because you're a little more off balance. But I am a big fan of offsetting. I have a lot more control. I can lean back, I can lean into it if I need to. Here, I'm stuck right here, because if I lean back, I'm getting the slingshot back.
Yeah.
And if I lean too far forward, I have nothing stopping me from falling forward.
I feel like the only time I would go forward with both feet is like if it's a really, really heavy weight.
Right.
That's the only time, but like you said, I like going one foot in front of the other.
One foot in forward. The only thing, I mean, I like double if I'm coming lightweight coming through here.
Yeah.
But if I have heavyweight, anything that's pushing me back or forward, I'm here. I'm able to extend here. If I want to come straight, I'm here. But anything here, I can't go real too heavy because I'm getting launched back. I don't have that control.
So the biggest thing I took from all that was how important the eccentric of the movement is, right?
Exactly.
It's like just making sure that you're going nice and slow on the way back, and then pushing forward. And then also, so that you're talking about like, a lot of guys, they roll their shoulders forward, right?
Yep.
I think that's probably the biggest mistake they make is like they roll shoulders forward, and then they come here and then they use
a lot of here.
Delts,
we get a lot of burn of that front delt. Yeah, and that's most movements. If we're squatting, benching, anything, that down on that bench should be controlled and then firing through. That squat should be controlled through.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people are trying to rush through that lift, or same thing, you see a lot of people trying to rush instead of squeezing, getting that stretch and squeezing through.
And the other thing I really like that you said was that, you know, when you are coming, you know, you're going forward, and as you're coming back, you're kind of getting your weight to come forward a little bit too, right? So I think that's really important, is like a lot of people don't understand when to distribute your weight.
Right.
I always like to, like, as I'm pushing, or if I have a pad behind me, I like to push back into the pad.
Exactly.
To make sure that, you know, my chest is contracted.
Right, you're almost doing opposite what your hands are doing.
Yeah.
The body's doing opposite.
Yeah, perfect, awesome. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, eccentric, yeah. What is that? Oh, eccentric is basically going on your way back, right? So it's like you're going forward, and then on your way back, that negative basically is the eccentric. All right, so we got a little bit of information from Craig. You know, he's one of my trainers. Now we're gonna talk to Butch. He's actually a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He's one of the baddest dudes I know. He's gonna go over something a little bit different, right? We kind of did a little bit of bodybuilding stuff there. We're gonna go over a little something different, so we're gonna talk to him and see what he has to say. What's up?
What's up, man?
All right.
How we doing?
What do you got for everybody? Give us a little tip.
So this is, like you said, I do fight and train a lot, so we spend a lot of time crunched forward. But all of us do that, whether we're like lifting in here, lifting weights like this, or even if you drive a car a lot, it's always going to be good to put some focus on recurving the spine, strengthening it that way too, so to avoid like low back issues in the future. And this is one of my favorite things to do before working out. It's pretty simple. You want to keep your butt on the floor and get your heels close to you. You're going to start low. You're going to do it in the low, middle, and upper back. Right here, spine straight at first, hands together with your elbows forward, and then everything goes back all at once. You want to get back as far as you can get. It should hurt a little bit. You're going to open, close, and then sit back up. And you're going to do that 3 times. There. Boom. And you should get farther back each time. Point the fingers. Start going back with your neck. Open, close, and sit up. And then you're going to roll to the middle. You're going to do the same thing. 3 times. Just like that. Then you're going to go up high. Remember, always keep your butt on the ground. It's about recurving the spine. Back all the way. You can even hang out here a second if you like. Open, close it, sit back up. 3 each, like I said. If you want to do one more, you can go long ways with the spine. Put the top of that foam roller on the base of your neck, and the same thing again. All the way back. Bam. Up. Hit that for 3. And you'll, feels pretty good. And then maybe you want to roll it up and down a couple times and, you know, get to work, a little like pre-warm-up thing.
Yeah, this is like really, really, really important. I'm telling you guys, like, don't be one of those guys. Don't be me who used to just go in the gym, put a 45 on the plate and think that that was my warm-up. Like, you actually have to come in here, have a routine about how you're going to warm up. You know, don't just... I just see so many guys walk in the gym and they just start lifting weights. I promise you, you're gonna have so many problems with your tendons, your joints. Everybody does it. Cameraman even saying, hands up.
It's good at the end of a workout too, for like a recovery. Like you're saying, you work out hard, you train hard, you go for it. You got to be just as focused on your recovery if you want to keep up that pace.
Perfect. And then what about like, since you are a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, can you like give me something, what are you teaching in class? He's gonna go teach class in a little bit.
I'm teaching teenagers today, so
Okay.
probably some pretty simple stuff,
Okay.
basic movements and body mechanics, and you know, if they pick it up, then maybe show an arm lock or something. But,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So let's say just random, you know, something I would think about like randomly if someone was, you know, approaching you or, you know, trying to like grab you, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first thing. So if I'm like trying to grab you,
If
right?
somebody's going to grab me, I'm going to be hands up, elbows forward, and let them run into it. You know what I mean? That nothing gets through, chin down. You're going to avoid any big punches if it's like a street situation. You got to defend yourself, put your chin down, your hands up, and that's something you can start with.
All right, and then one last thing. How about like show me like a guillotine, like a nice choke. Like if someone's shooting in, I shoot in.
Right here?
Yeah, a lot of guys like to stick their head in, right? What are you doing with your hands here?
This hand right here, if you're going to shoot in a guillotine, I'm going to drop right on top of him and shove this hand over as far as I can get. Keep my head up on the back, grab my own wrist. That shoulder's going to stay on the back of your neck. That way, if you take me down, it's the same position. If you try to stand up, it's the same position. And I'm just going to hip in.
Woo,
And,
that's tight. Even
get that
before he
thing
locks
finished.
it in, it's tight. So basically it's you know, the guy's head's in here, right? You're trying to just close.
Yeah,
that,
but you're
that
going to
area,
grab
right?
that wrist right here and just close that space out. So
A lot of
I'm going to
times-
shoot in. Bam.
Grab it.
Right
So some
here.
guys like to hook it this way, right? They go here.
Yeah, this.
I like to go here.
Yeah, but grab your wrist and make a fist with this hand.
Yeah.
It's gonna be much tighter. Now drop your shoulder and your head up there. And at this point, you're just squeezing, hipping in. Squeeze, elbows back, and hip in.
So different grips, right? I've always been using
There's a lot of
this
grips.
way. I know some
Yeah.
guys like to push it this way.
Yeah.
Right?
I like all the grips, but this one's probably my go-to.
'Cause you're just grabbing your wrist.
But I'm also making a fist, so it makes like a little hook right here, so this can't slide off,
Got it.
right? Because it's gonna slide.
Oh yeah. That makes
But
a lot
if
of
this
sense.
is straight, you grab your hand, it can slip off if you're like sweaty or something. So that finish is gonna be here and here, and I'm gonna tuck the elbow, retract my shoulder blades, start getting those hips close.
It's tight
Finish.
before you even and you lock it up. I think
Yeah.
a lot of guys when they do a guillotine, they just grab it and they think like just pull back, right?
Yeah.
And then the head pops out.
For sure.
So I think it's so
That's
important.
that's why you keep it. I'm locking that head in all the way around. That's why I was saying put your head up behind the neck, so it blocks the head in on top too. I don't need to raise up.
Raise up, yeah.
If I raise up, I'm creating space,
Yeah.
which is
And
the
then
opposite of offense in jiu-jitsu. You want
Yeah.
to take space
I
away.
think a lot of guys, like I said, they pull back and they create space, when in reality you should be tucking in and
Yeah.
getting it all tighter. So
Anything forward is just with the hips.
cool. We got to start
that.
having you teach some
Yeah.
classes here. All right, so guys, we're gonna do a V-bar seated row. I'm gonna give you guys a few tips and things to make this workout as optimal as possible. So first thing, we want to make sure that we don't have bend in our knees, right? We want to make sure, we don't want to straighten our legs. We want to have a little bit of a bend in our knees. That's the first thing. The second thing is posture. Posture is everything. So chest is nice as high. Then my third thing is how I grip. I like to use my hands as hooks. So I don't like to use my biceps. A lot of times people grab on and they're using a lot of forearms and they're pulling and they're using a lot of biceps. So I use my hands as hooks, my chest is high, I have a little bit of bend in my knees. And from there, I'm just taking my elbows and I'm just dragging them back, right? I'm coming forward and then I'm coming back and dragging them back. Very slow on the eccentric. That's really, really important. You don't want to be swinging, right? You want to go nice and slow. So pull and shrug all the way back and then nice and slow on the way back. So same way you shrug this way, right? As you're shrugging this way. You want to get that thickness in your back. You want to work your lower lats. You want to drive down into your hips. And that's probably the best way to do these exercises.